Shalom family. So I'm sure some of you have seen this whole thing that's going around now again about the Hopi prophecy, right? Everybody's jumping on this from different angles. They're cherry picking pieces of this people's prophecy and applying it to Trump and various things. But I want to point out a few things to you. So let's look at it. The Hopi prophecy concerning the man in the red hat, the big white brother, and humanity's crossroads. So yeah, sure, Margot, red hat, everything. In the United States, there's been a resurgence of interest in the Hopi Indian prophecies, particularly regarding a figure known as the man in the red hat. According to tribal elders, the emergence of this individual will herald a period of significant global events. Right? We are on the verge of even more significant global events as we go towards that tribulation period. It's going to be a huge change for mankind. History would repeat itself. Humanity would proliferate from diverse tribes and languages and spread across the remnants of the previous worlds. They got this belief system on multiple phases of worlds before. Eventually, a powerful people referred to by the Hopi as the big white brother would emerge, dominate the globe, and reclaim the Hopi lands in America. Life under the big white brother won't be too harsh for the Hopi, as the newcomers will introduce many wonderful inventions. Swift, self-moving wagons, electric vehicles, sky roads, towering buildings, and more. Hopi will even communicate through the web. However, tranquility will cease when the white people discover the rope hanging from the moon. Their attempts to climb it will infuriate the government of the universe. Alien Nephilim connection. Unleashing calamities on earth. Earthquakes, floods, fierce winds, widespread disease, crop failures, droughts. So basically last week. Eventually, it will become so hot, the world will be scorched, Revelation, that rivers will evaporate and oceans will boil. Right? The angel in the sun, stirring the sun up to prepare it as a vessel of judgment for this end time. By then, society will have decayed, governed by even more corrupt leaders. Women, having lost their way, will don men's attire, and vice versa, as we see. And suddenly, during breakfast, the sky will darken. So not during lunch or supper, but during breakfast, the sky will darken, and the dark king will descend to exterminate all. Lucifer, fallen from heaven, coming and realizing that his time is really short to finish his plan of wiping out mankind. The man in the red hat heralds the great purification, a crossroads where humanity must choose between enlightenment and entering the fifth world or facing annihilation by the dark king from above. The big white brother will not govern America by himself. He will have the assistance of two others, one represented by the symbol of the sun and the other by a cross or an X. Now, isn't that interesting? Makes you think Elon Musk, the first buddy. The big white brother will start beheading traitors. Now, beheading, Revelations, people's heads, inexplicably doing so in broad daylight and in public view. Under his rule, taxes and the monetary system will be eliminated, and the world will unite. A common language will be spoken by all, and happiness will prevail. And that sounds very much like a setup and a connection to the Great Tribulation, the New World Order, the one world money system controlled digitally through CBDC systems and a mark and so forth. Everyone speaking one language and living peaceably under control of one powerful leader. And if you're a dissenter, a Christian, a Jew, or anything else, off with your head in broad daylight and in public. Again, lines up beautifully with Revelation. It does, however, paint this great man in the red hat as the Antichrist, which a lot of people do believe that Trump is. I do not think that Trumpy is the Antichrist. There's definitely way better candidates out there for Antichrist, and I think it's possibly even someone we haven't seen. But if it is someone we have seen, again, way better candidates that fit the bill better than Donald Trump and his red hat. But this prophecy would tend to be saying that he is that man who will be in control totally all over the world. So really interesting. But if you take all of the weird and wonderful out and you bring it back to the truth, which is the word of God, and you compare, you see a lot of connections with Revelation, with the scorching of mankind by the sun, with everything that's lying ahead, the New World Order, the One World Money System, the beheading, all these things. Everything in the world, including other cultures, are screaming about what is lying ahead, because it is true, it is here, and it is at the door. And we hold on to the truth, which is the only thing you should be looking at, and that is the Word of God. The Word of God is what we hold up against anything we read or look at, because the Word of God is truth. Shalom.